I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, All That Jazz. Okay, so let's get right into it. 13 movies, 4 timelines, and some very terrible mask designs along the way. I'm very excited to finally be doing my first ranking video for the Halloween franchise. So a little backstory, I tried to do one of these last Halloween, and I had no idea that there were already templates and things made, so doing a ranking would be completely easy. Thank you, ChatGPT, for helping me out. So let's get into my rankings today. Disclaimer. This is my personal list and preferences. My list is being ranked by my own rewatch preferences, so this list is pretty much based off how likely I am and unlikely I am to watch these movies when I revisit them, especially right now during the Halloween season. So just keep that in mind. Also, I don't think that there's one absolutely trash movie in this franchise, so I excluded the F category. Okay, so let's get right into it. So in last place, I have Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which we all know is the black sheep of the entire franchise. Now, while I do understand where they wanted to go with the whole anthology idea, this one is just not my go-to watch when I want to revisit the franchise. This is the only movie in the whole series that doesn't feature Michael Myers, which has always been my biggest gripe. Like, I don't care. If I'm watching a Halloween movie, I want to see Michael. We was expecting to see the Shape. Instead, we got damn fucking Halloween masks, creepy jingles, and Stonehenge magic. To this day, I still wonder who and what they were smoking when they came up with this concept. But once you get over the fact that it's not a Michael Myers slasher, it's actually a decent and a weird 80s sci-fi horror way kind of watch. The atmosphere is creepy, the score still hits, and then that jingle will always live in my head rent-free. Still, it just doesn't feel like a Halloween movie. If this had just been called The Season of the Witch without all the Halloween branding, I most definitely think it would have been considered more of a cult classic instead of a disappointment. So for my ranking, I am giving this a D+. It's unique, it's creative, but way too far from the spirit of the franchise for me. And again, it's just not one that I pick up to watch when I revisit the franchise. Also, Dan and Ellie getting it on was really weird. It was. She felt like she was supposed to be his daughter or someone like that to him. That was weird too. So yeah, I would give this a solid D. I don't hate it. It has grown on me as I've gotten older. However, give me Michael. Moving along.
Happy Halloween.
Okay, in 12th place, I have Halloween Ends. Now, let me start off by just saying, Michael deserved better, Laurie deserved better, we fucking deserve better. They really should have called this movie Halloween Confused, because what was this? What was it? What was it? Now, I gave this movie a D, and I think that that's being nice, though I don't think it was bad. But after all of that build up, all of those trailers hyping up the final showdown, we spend most of the movie following this random guy named Corey. Like, huh? Who decided this was the storyline for the big finale? They tried to make Corey the next Michael Myers, talking about evil transfers and all that, but it just didn't hit. It felt like I was watching a totally different movie that accidentally got labeled Halloween. They should have introduced Corey in 2018 or Halloween Kills, so at least it didn't feel so fucking random. Meanwhile, you got Michael hiding out in the damn sewers like a tired retiree, waiting on his shift to start. It just didn't land. It didn't make sense, especially because in the previous movie, the town wasn't whooping his ass. Hell, he whooped theirs. And don't get me started on the final battle We waited how many movies for Laurie and Michael to face off, and we get what, 10 to 15 minutes at the end? Now, it looked good. I'll give it that. But it was a little too late. Okay? If you're going to call it Halloween Ends, it should feel like the end. Not a weird spinoff with a random love story and a sewer cameo. So yeah, Halloween Ends gets a D- from me. It ended all right, just not the way I wanted it to. And something else that I forgot to mention. That little fucking shit, Jeremy, he deserved it.
What was that?
Jeremy!
Oh, well.
Don't even care.
Quit playing!
No, for real, don't play like that.
Next up in the 11th slot, I have Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I give this one a C, and honestly, that feels fair. It's grown on me throughout the years. It initially wasn't my favorite, but after recently watching it, I can dig it. It's wild, it's chaotic, it's loud, but somehow I still enjoy parts of it. Now, let me start with the good, because there is some good here. The opening scene was absolutely fire. Seeing Laurie's aftermath right after the first movie was brutal and real, like you could actually feel the trauma she went through. And for a minute, I thought Rob Zombie was going to redeem himself with this one. But then things went left fast. Dr. Loomis, oh my God, I hated him in this. He went from being Michael's doctor to a full-blown clout chaser, and every time he popped up on the screen, I just had to say, shut the fuck up and sit down. And Michael, why was he grunting? Why was that needed? It completely killed the mystery, and I just don't want to hear Michael Myers. I want to fear him. And then, the white horse nonsense. Listen, I get that it's supposed to symbolize trauma or Michael's inner psyche or whatever, but it just felt random. Like 1 minute we're slashing, the next minute we're in therapy. What were we doing here? Why was any of this needed? So yeah, Halloween 2 lands at a C for me. It's beginning, it's strong, but by the end, it feels like a bad fever dream. I respect Rob Zombie for what he was going for here, but I never need to see that white horse again. Oh, an honorable mention, I really did enjoy getting to see Brad Dourif and Annie come back. If there's one thing that I do love about the Rob Zombie series, I do prefer his Laurie, Annie, and Sheriff Brackett over the 1978 version. So I did enjoy seeing them come back and seeing how the aftermath affected them as well. Rob Zombie said trauma, but make it grungy and confusing. In 10th place, I have Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Okay, now let's talk about this one, because I gave this one a C, and sometimes I feel like this should be in the D category, but I'm gonna leave it in C, because honestly, this movie does test my patience. First off, why did they kill off Rachel? Like, be fucking for real. She survived Michael in Halloween 4, was one of the few likable characters left, and then they took her out immediately. No build up, no emotional payoff, just gone. And I was upset, and I'm still upset. Okay, I'm still upset. And then for them to have the nerve to make Tina the focus. Tina, now no shade to Tina at all, but baby girl, you are not that girl. You're really not. She was loud, annoying, and every time she showed up, I just wished I was seeing Rachel instead. Like, I would have loved to see that last scene of Jamie running through the field and Tina sacrificing herself. I would have loved to see that emotional moment if it was Rachel instead. And speaking of Jamie, poor Jamie, they made her a mute. Danielle Harris literally carried Halloween 4 on her back. And in this one, they basically said, fuck it, you're not gonna talk. We're gonna make you a mute. Like, what? You took the most interesting character and silenced her. She couldn't even scream. I even missed hearing her scream. I'll never understand it. And don't even get me started on Michael. The mask looked weird, he wasn't scary, and the kills were forgettable. The whole thing just felt like a filler, like they were buying time until the next sequel, until someone wrote them the next big script. So yeah, Halloween 5 gets a C- for me. It wasn't the worst, but it definitely didn't give revenge. It now gives regret. Yeah. They killed Rachel, muted Jamie, and bored the rest of us to death. All right, next up, Halloween 2007, aka Rob Zombie's grungy, angry, trailer park version of Michael Myers. Because apparently, we needed to know that young Michael Myers grew up being bullied and picked on with cringe-worthy dialogue throughout. Now look, I get what Rob Zombie was going for. He wanted to humanize Michael, show his trauma, his messed up family, why he became a killer. Cool idea, but the first 5 minutes of this episode for real feels like an episode of Cops Gone Wrong. It's just yelling, chaos, and everyone looks like they smell like cigarettes, if I'm being honest. Once we finally get to adult Michael, though, it does pick up. Tyler Mane is terrifying. Dude looks like he can for real whoop some ass and fold somebody like a pretzel. The kills are brutal, the energy is raw, the atmosphere is heavy, but it still does kind of lose the haunting mystery that Carpenter's original had. It's like Rob Zombie's version screams at you. It's right in your face versus 1978, the original for real stalks you. Funny thing is, I don't know why Rob Zombie never thought to take on a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I feel like his grunge trailer park vibe would fit a lot more with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, I can understand that kind of energy for a movie like that, but for Michael, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't. But all in all, I don't think the movie was bad. I do have some nostalgia for this movie. It's one of the first movies that I was able to pay for and drive myself to the movie theater as a high school student. So I do have love and respect for it for those reasons too. But I would give this remake a solid C. It's gritty, violent, stylish. It just discovered Hot Topic kind of way, but it's missing the soul of Halloween. I respect it, but I can't say that I loved everything that he did here.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch.
All right, next up on my ranking is Halloween Kills. And this one, I put this one in between both of Rob Zombie's. I don't think that it's better than Halloween 2007, but I do feel like I like this better than Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie in 2009. Now, I also have a hot take on this movie. So because of what we got in Halloween Ends, I think what they should have did is let Laurie die in this one. Now, hear me out. I think it would have been smart if they did let Michael kill Laurie and Laurie died in this one. And then that way, Halloween Ends could have been a separate standalone film following Corey and Allison and Michael. And then they could have just called that Halloween Beginning. But Laurie literally did nothing in this movie. Nothing. I wanted to love this movie coming off of Halloween 2018. I was expecting an intense showdown between Laurie and Michael. 40 years of build up finally paying off, but instead, Laurie spends the entire fucking time stuck in the hospital bed. She gives these speeches, but in the terms of actually doing something, she didn't do absolutely anything. Meanwhile, the movie shifts to the town of Haddonfield and this whole evil dies tonight chant shit. It just got repetitive really fast. The mob storyline had potential, but it does end up feeling kind of messy and pointless. They spent the whole time chasing after one particular guy, and nothing about his build, body, or energy gave he was Michael Myers. So it felt pointless. Now, I will give you this. The kills are brutal. Michael is an absolute force in this one, and the practical effects are pretty fucking good, but the movie leans so hard into chaos that it loses the emotional core that made 2018 actually work in a good, pretty decent movie. So for me, Halloween Kills is entertaining in a let's watch Michael wreck some shit kind of way, but as a continuation of Laurie's story, it's a major letdown. No final battle, no real payoff, just the filler. Again, another filler before a finale. So I would give this a solid C.
Hey, Michael! This is for Dr. Loomis.
All right, y'all, next up in 7th place is Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. And I actually have to admit, this is one that snuck up on me, and I actually enjoyed this one. I am putting this in the B category. Yep, I said it, the B category. And before y'all start judging me, let me explain. Listen, the movie is messy. It is wild, and it absolutely makes no sense half of the time, but it is entertaining. You gotta give it that. We've got cults, we got runes, we got random people trying to explain why Michael's been acting a fool all these years. It's giving chaos, but it also gives camp. You gotta admit that too. Now, yes, I know we didn't get Danielle Harris back to play Jamie, and Michael being Jamie baby father was really weird, and it was suspect. I do admit that. I'll give you that. And I don't care what nobody says. Paul Rudd as Tommy Doyle, iconic, awkward, yes. Weird energy, absolutely. But I didn't mind it. He wasn't as worse as Tina. Was he? Now, let's be real. The plot is confusing as hell. All the Thorn cult stuff, they lost me halfway through, but the atmosphere, the kills, the Halloween vibes, they were all there. Nothing was more satisfying than seeing John Stroh's death scene because he fucking deserved it. He really did. He was an asshole in this. George Wilbur delivers as Michael, and this mask is the best out of 4, 5, and 6. This movie feels dark, grimy, and mean in all the ways, so that works out for me. So yeah, Halloween 6 might not make a lick of sense, but it's fun, it's weird, and I got that 90s horror flavor that I secretly love, so that's why I put this in the B category.
Red. It's raining.
Next up in 6th place, Halloween Resurrection. And listen, this movie catches too much hate because it's actually enjoyable if you just let go of all the complaints. It gives a typical 2000s horror movie. Let's start about the opener. I understand they killed off Laurie in the first 10 minutes, the main girl we've been rooting for since 1978. They just tossed our girl off the rooftop like it was nothing. I will admit I was stressed and I still don't like it, but after I got past that, I was weirdly into this. Okay? This one basically turns Michael's house into a reality show, Dangertainment or whatever, where a bunch of college kids think it's a great idea to live stream from Michael Myers' childhood home. Like, huh? If anyone deserved to get got, it's them. This is the only Halloween movie where I actually fully agree with Michael's kills. They broke into his house. He's protecting his property. Stand your ground, king. And let's talk about Busta Rhymes. Iconic. This man literally karate kicks Michael while he's yelling, "Trick or treat, motherfucker." It's camp, it's chaos, and I love every second. He brought comedy, energy, and straight up audacity. And honestly, that's the best part. He carried the whole movie. Laurie deserved better, but Michael, he had every right this time. Protect your home and defend your peace. Period. So yeah, it's goofy, it's over the top, but it is entertaining. It's not scary, but it's fun. And sometimes that's all you need in a slasher sequel. I'm for real taking this over Seed of Chucky and Jason Takes Manhattan. Depending on my mood, I may take Freddy's Dead over this, but I'm putting this in the C category.
Mikey, happy fucking Halloween!
All right, we are finally down to our last 5 movies of the franchise, and next up we have Halloween H2O. And I gotta say, Michael felt a lot more energized in this one for me, like he had 20 years of rest, stretch, and came back on they ass. He was just moving different in this one. Determined, fast, no hesitation. But we got to talk about the elephant in the room, the mask. I hated this mask. I did not like seeing his eyes. Michael should be soulless, not staring at me. That really took away from the mystery, and I didn't like that at all. Now, Laurie Strode, this is my favorite version of her. Forget the 2018 Trauma Core Laurie. This one is confident, she's classy and done running. She's still haunted, but she's still holding it together. She's raising an asshole kid, running a school, and still knows how to swing an axe. She's that girl, honey. Now, I didn't mind the change of scenery with the private school and the California vibe, but I had to admit it didn't really feel like Halloween. No fall leaves, no Haddonfield energy, just sunshine and sweaters. Like, it really did give Scream more than Halloween, even with the music and the score, some of the same music. But the final showdown, easily the best in the entire franchise. That ending where Laurie's like, not today, grabs the axe and takes matters into her own hands, chef's kiss. So for me, Halloween H2O goes in the B category. I would put this before The Curse of Halloween. I just didn't do it when I was making it. But most definitely, I would give this a solid B. Laurie gets the redemption she finally deserves, even if Michael's mask does look like it was bought off of eBay. Moving on to 4th place, we have Halloween 2. Hands down, the best follow-up movie in any of the timelines. It literally picks up right where the original, like no time has passed, and that is how you do a sequel. David Gordon Green. Hey. Now, I didn't even mind the whole Laurie and Michael are siblings thing. It gets a lot of hate, but honestly, it gives the story a little bit more bite, even if it made the timelines messier later. The real issue, Laurie herself. I'm sorry, but she was completely useless in this movie. Just lying in bed the whole time, useless. She at least had a little bit more to do in the original. And I know I may get a lot of flack for this, but hot take, Laurie wasn't even a great final girl until H2O. I said what I said. In the original and in this one, she mostly survives by accident. H2O Laurie, she at least fought back. Now, the hospital setting, I like the idea. It's creepy, sterile, empty hallways at the night, but it does kind of limit the action. It felt like we didn't get that many kills in here or get to see everything that Michael did. There's only so much running you can do when there's like 3 nurses and 1 security guard on a shift. Still, it does keep that slow burn tension, and I love that. So yeah, Halloween 2, it's dark, moody, and a perfect continuation of the original. The kills hit, the vibe is cooler, but the fiery end, classic. I'm giving this an A-. It's not flawless, but it's the strongest sequel in the franchise.
Onward!
Now we are now down to my top 3. Now let me just say, no matter where I rate these, I would watch any last one of these first. Same thing with the last 2. Depending on my mood, I would put those in before these top 3. So it doesn't matter where I have them placed on my list. I would watch any last one of these first, depending on my mood. Okay, so in third place, I have Halloween 2018. And for me, this is one of the strongest movies in the entire franchise. This one is in the A category, no question. Michael looked perfect. The mask, the presence, the kills, everything about him just screamed Halloween energy, finally. Now, the vibe of this movie, perfect fall leaves, creepy suburban streets, and the chilling score, it actually felt like Halloween again. And the first time in years, the franchise really got the atmosphere right. But I do have a hot take for this movie as well. I think they should have started the new timeline after Halloween 4. Imagine if they swapped out Karen for Jamie and brought back Danielle Harris instead. Karen was irritating, and I do feel like they would have had to do less explaining of this distant daughter relationship with Lori had they just used Jamie. They could have most definitely gave Lori's character more depth and dove into why she essentially abandoned Jamie and left her to fight for her own life. That would have made a distant daughter who wants to keep her children away from their grandma much more believable. Jamie would have also already have had her own survived experience with Michael, so she would have had her own trauma she was still dealing from as well. So I don't know, it just feels like it was a missed opportunity to give Jamie the redemption arc. And then also, if they wanted to have that complicated mother-daughter story, they would have already had one had they just followed up after Halloween 4. Hell, they could have also brought back Rachel and gave her a more heartfelt ending as well. So yeah, missed opportunities in here for sure. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I most definitely will take Halloween H2O's Lori over this basket case Lori. I get the trauma, but she was giving doomsday prepper meets conspiracy theorist. Removing the sibling storyline made Michael's connection to Lori just feel forced. It honestly didn't feel like Michael was really even looking for Lori or trying to finish what he started, and that's what the plot was missing for me. Michael was just walking through Haddonfield, living his best life, unaliving whoever came in contact with him. Lori was out looking for him, and or Dr. Sartain was trying to push them two at each other. And don't even get me started on Dr. Sartain. I get that they didn't want to give us a Loomis remake, but to give us an obsessed Michael fan, nice, real nice. Now shout out to Julian. He was the little kid that Vicky was babysitting, funniest character in the movie. He was the only one who was acting like he knew this was a horror movie. Protect that little baby at all costs, okay? So yeah, Halloween 2018 gets an A rating for me. It brought back the energy, the style, the brutality we've been missing. Even if the storyline is messy, it still gave Michael an edge back. And honestly, that's what matters. Jamie Lee was stressed, Michael was thriving, and Julian was the one with the sense. 10 out of 10 modern day Halloween chaos. Okay, maybe not a 10 out of 10, but it's up there for me, okay? Okay, I'm sure you guessed it. In second place, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. And finally, the man himself is back after that Halloween 3 detour. And honestly, this one did have heart. We meet little Jamie Lloyd, Laurie Strode's daughter, who basically gets abandoned off screen because Laurie's just gone. Like, sis, you couldn't even send her a postcard? Jamie's out here having nightmares, being bullied, and carrying this little franchise on her back while her mama's ghosting her from the afterlife. Now, Danielle Harris ate in this movie. She brought so much emotion and innocence. You actually felt bad for her. It was a few scenes in here where I got teary-eyed, especially after she got bullied and she's crying outside of the school. Oh, that just hurts my heart every time. She's one of the most underrated characters in the entire franchise. And she made Michael's story scary again because seeing him go after a kid just hits different. Big shout out to Rachel, Jamie's foster sister in here. She's one of the few characters in the whole franchise who actually cares about someone other than herself. Now, in the beginning, in those initial scenes, she was giving selfish and a little bit bitchy. I understand, girl, you wanted to have your date, but come on now. She does end up being very protective, resourceful, and have some kind of common sense, which is rare in this franchise. Their sister bond, way more genuine than half of the relationships we see in these movies. So Danielle Harris and Ellie Cornell really made this relationship and this bond feel real. The Halloween vibe was back too. The small town, the fog, the chaos, the suspense. It actually felt like Haddonfield again. The kills weren't over the top, but they were effective and the tension stayed strong. The only thing that really annoyed me is how everyone just dumped their trauma on this poor little girl while pretending Lori never existed. Like, make it make sense. But the ending, I like that. The way it mirrored the original, that was actually pretty fucking decent. So Halloween 4 gets a solid A for me. Michael's back, the story was grounded, and Jamie was the emotional core the franchise needed. Lori who? Because Jamie carried this era on her back. And if I'm being honest, she was more of a final girl than Lori was in 4 and 5. Than Lori was in 1 and 2. I'm just saying. Justice for Jamie though. Abandoned, traumatized, and still the best part of the 80s timeline.
These ain't opinions. These are facts.
And we finally made it to the number 1 slot. We have Halloween 1978, the original, the classic, the one that started it all. Of course, this one's sitting in my superior category because without it, none of the others simply wouldn't even exist. John Carpenter really created the whole genre blueprint with this. The score, the simplicity, the stalking, it's pure tension. No blood needed, no overcomplicated plot, just a silent man in a mask in a town that should have just locked their doors. Now, I'll be real, not everything in this movie has aged perfectly. Some of the acting is a little bit rough, and there are different entries later on in the franchise that I find more entertaining on a rewatch. But this, again, is where it all began. It's the tone, the style, and it gave us one of horror's most iconic villains and one of the most iconic, recognizable final girls, as well as one of horror's most iconic duos with Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis. Now, Lori may have not been my favorite version of herself yet, but this is where her story starts and Michael obsession starts. The ending was classic. It was simple, haunting, and unforgettable. Now, Loomis was that guy. Over dramatic, absolutely, but every time he stepped on the screen, he made the scene memorable. His voice of panic in every scene, running around Haddonfield like I told y'all. And honestly, he's the backbone of the early movies. Without Loomis, Michael's just a silent stalker. Like, he really has no sense of story. Loomis just gives him the myth feel. So yeah, Halloween 1978 is the blueprint. That's the foundation. The slow burn that built the legacy. It's not the flashiest, but it's the reason we have this ranking. So that will always have it in the superior category for me. And that wraps up my official Halloween franchise ranking. From the Silver Shamrock chaos to Busta Rhymes drop kicking Michael Myers in his shit, this series has truly been through it. We've seen it all. Lori's trauma, Jamie's heartbreak, Rob Zombie's cussing, disgusting dialogue, and Michael just refusing to stay dead. No matter how messy the timeline gets, I'll always have a soft spot for this franchise. It's nostalgic, it's chaotic, it's iconic, and every version of Michael brings something different to the table. So yeah, Not every movie's perfect, but together they built something legendary. From 1971 all the way till now, Halloween has defined the slasher genre and gave us decades of Halloween nightmares. Now, I want to hear from y'all. What are your favorite Halloweens in the franchise? And do you agree with my rankings? Am I completely out of pocket? Let me know. Either way, lock your doors, check your closets, and don't answer the phone if you hear heavy breathing because Michael's still out there. Thank you guys for watching and happy Halloween, y'all.